Hello everybody and welcome to the 65th edition of BS Back in the Shed. My name is Wes. I am your main host. I created this bad boy 65 episodes ago. I am clearly number 3 favorite person on this podcast this week. I have once again my favorite co-host. Please introduce yourself.
Hello everybody.
Who is almost late to the podcast this week because he's a sleepy boy and then he was a hungry boy.
Homeboy was out cold.
Homeboy was out cold. It's like someone hit him with a frying pan. The only method.
I mean, it kind of felt like it, no lie.
And we have a very special guest. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. I'm J.S. Sollace, and I'm a historian at the very start of her academic career.
Now, as we go into this, I feel like I've been watching a variety of YouTubers' content for 4 years. I don't think I've seen anything like the content you create. I think it's very unique. I love that we're playing characters in these videos, that we have that whole aspect going on. I really enjoy that, everything about what you're doing.
Yeah, it's something called nonfiction. It's essentially fiction that has enough verisimilitude to where it can pretend to be real. And when we, the few times we actually do discuss serious topics on our longer videos, deep dives, they're real topics.
Yeah.
But most of the time, we are thinking up ways to be silly with each other.
Very fair, very fair. What made you want to start doing these videos? What inspired you?
Well, oddly enough, it started off when I was, probably before I went to college. I didn't like being wrong, and I was starting to find out I was wrong about a lot of things. In fact, I'm so used to being wrong, I kind of like it.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, one of the most important things I've learned in life is that the easiest person to fool is yourself. And so when I was in college and got introduced to historical research, like working with primary materials out of archives instead of just reading what other people do, coming up with my own conclusions was neat. But I found that when I tried sharing some of the things that had changed my mind with other people, it didn't really change their mind. People aren't really persuaded by facts. I mean, I've heard people claim that they don't like to be wrong, but they really have no problem with being wrong. It's being uncomfortable that they don't like.
Yes, I can definitely see that.
So I came up with this idea, the idea for this channel, about a year ago, when the Mueller report came out, and it was the Attorney General of the United States was up there essentially lying about its content, and I figured, well, I should do something. But how do you talk to people and get them to listen? Well, the way I thought of was create a couple of appealing characters and have them talk to each other in a not in any kind of threatening way. This is just the sort of things that kind of get them going,
Yeah.
Because people will go ahead and they'll have silly conversations. They'll play games with each other, and occasionally those conversations go into serious areas, and you're much more likely to listen to someone you like.
And I feel like we're much more likely to listen to people that give the same opinion as you as well.
Yeah, that's something they call that confirmation bias,
Yes.
where something that makes you feel good about what you already believe, you're much more likely to listen to it.
Like when I tell Info about the way the world works, and he doesn't want to hear it. He just disagrees.
Yeah.
He thinks the Earth is flat, and I keep telling him it's round.
All right, so listen, I have undeniable proof that it is flat, okay?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, when I go outside and shoot my gun and the bullet goes, it just keeps going because I never find the bullet again. So therefore, it is flat because the bullet keeps going and falls off the fucking side of the planet,
Philip
Otherwise,
can smell
it would
your
just go
breath.
around the planet and shoot you in the back of the head.
Philip can smell your breath, Info, and it's gross.
I mean, I'm glad it smells like fucking fish sticks and green beans because that's what I just ate.
Oh, God.
Actually,
That's the breakfast of champions right there.
actually, no, I lie. It doesn't smell like fish sticks. It does smell like green beans, though.
You know, okay, the off-topic question. How do we
Okay.
feel about eating right as we wake up? Obviously, Infu's in favor of it. He just did it. How do you feel, Sollace? Are you the person that can eat as soon as they get up?
Usually I don't, but recently I've just been kind of feeling a little bit hungry when I get up, and I'll have a little bit of cheese and fruit, maybe occasionally some cold cuts. Start the day.
I feel like I can't really eat right as I get up. It takes me like a couple hours to actually be able to get it to be hungry. Like, it feels like, I don't know. I don't know if it's a full feeling. I feel like, obviously, when you're sleeping, you just get hotter and hotter. And for me, I just wake up hot, and I'm not hungry when I'm hot as much.
See, I guess like I guess I could totally get that, but like my fan stays on high at all times. It never cuts off. And I don't sleep with a blanket on, and I don't wear a shirt, so like it's nothing but cold air constantly hitting my body at all times. So I don't really ever like get hot, I guess.
Fair? That's fair. I can see that.
That also being said, I actually don't normally wake up and eat. Like if it's in the morning time and I wake up, I don't immediately eat breakfast after I've woke up. But like if I've already been awake all day and I take like a nap or whatever, and I wake up, then I can usually eat food at that point and it'll be all right. But like when I
Yeah.
first wake up, like from a nighttime sleep, or like even like if I go to sleep in the morning, kind of wake up like around lunchtime or whatever, I can't eat when I first wake up. I feel like trash.
That makes sense. I can definitely understand that. I'm just not the kind of person that when I wake up, it's like, oh. Even drinking something, unless I wake up and my throat's dry, I'm not gonna drink anything either. It takes me a bit.
Oh no, that's something I have to have I have to have a drink when I first wake up because like my mouth just tastes dead.
Fair? That's fair. Maybe if you brushed
gi-
your
you
teeth
give me,
more.
You give me a cup of tea and an orange, and I'm pretty happy.
Nice. What kind of tea do you enjoy?
Let's see. Usually something citrusy, like lemon tea, orange tea, or cinnamon. Cinnamon's very good.
Thank you for the follow, X Daven X. I appreciate it.
Oh, yo, that's
hey.
my buddy. That's my buddy Crackhead.
Ah,
What's
hi,
up,
Crackhead.
dude?
It's always nice to be followed by crackheads.
that's his name in the game or whatever. That's Hey buddy, how you doing?
So, a question that I've gotten that we have to ask Sollace. What is the significance of your mask?
Ah, yes. The significance of that is kind of goes back to when I was a kid, because I was always kind of bullied by girls because I just wasn't one of the pretty ones. I have kind of an androgynous look, and so the mask it's just a female Venetian volto mask. It kind of represents an abstraction of the femininity they think I didn't have. But in this case, it's useful in that it also attracts an element of mystery. At least for the first several videos I'll be doing. I plan to use a different mask after about a year.
Ooh.
A change between season 1 and season 2, if you will.
You could also say an evolution.
Yes, indeed. It's effectively it's a kind of the character of the Oracle is pretty much just me with a lot of my positive and negative aspects exaggerated. And this one's the negative one, the self-consciousness, the feeling of not belonging. And to show character development, I have an idea that the mask will change over time.
Very nice, very nice. I think that's a cool idea. I definitely think with the theme of the channel and the kind of content you do, stuff like changing the mask, that just works out perfectly.
Yeah, I'm hoping it does. I'm thinking, it's like I've done let's see, 7 videos now, and that's not a lot. And I'm still kind of establishing a production schedule and establishing an overall style, and I'm experimenting so much.
Yep.
And so, by next October, after a full year of this, I should have at least a dozen, maybe 18 to 20 by then, and we'll see. We'll see then. It's kind of like when we do the pre-show here. We're kind of talking and messing around some, and people can go ahead and tune in and see what's happening, even though the show itself may not go in that eventual direction.
Yeah.
But I'm finding my feet, and I'm getting into the stream of it and having a good time with it.
Absolutely. Billob in the chat would like to know, do you wear the mask outside of videos then?
Actually, it's funny. This outfit that I'm wearing in this picture, the very first picture the very first outfit in which we ever see the Oracle wearing, I wore this to a mask in Dallas the summer before I started the channel, summer 2018, actually.
Nice.
And I just liked the overall combination, the overall look, and I decided to incorporate that into the character right from the beginning.
Makes a lot of sense. I can definitely see that. Anytime you do that, Info, by the way, I assume that's you muted and unmuted the mic with the actual headset. That causes a popping noise.
Yes, I'm aware it does, but I have no other way to mute my mic.
Fair.
It's either okay, so like here's what you're dealing with. Either I mute my mic and you hear a grotesque noise when I blow my nose, or you hear a popping noise a couple times. So I guess take your pick. Which one you want? Do you want loud burnt, or do you want pop for a second?
This is a thing. Alrighty.
Because if I mute it with the Discord like I used to do, it messes with the layout. And you told me not to do that.
That's fair. I feel like I would prefer you just mute on Discord then. And
are you sure?
I mean, it's a quick fix. It's an annoying fix, but it's better than the pop-in noise. Audio is important.
Okay, I can do that then. I mean, like I said, I was just trying to find a solution. I mean, I guess I could just entirely unplug the mic, but I think it still makes a noise.
That would be a route. That would be a technique. I don't know.
I mean, you want me to try real quick and see if it does?
I don't know. You do you.
Fuck it.
That also makes a popping noise.
Did it make any noise right there?
It did.
I figured it would.
Welcome to the A+ quality you can get on BS Back in the Shed. We have the absolute greatest production quality. This is the magnificent work. I feel like video chat got better in a way and then weirder in a way.
Folks, you cannot get quality like this in any other podcast.
Exactly. There is no YouTubers podcast, which this is not a YouTubers podcast at all, but it's always kind of associated with YouTubers because we bring on a bunch of YouTubers currently that you're not going to see anyone else doing this. So I feel like even in my streams, I'm associated with YouTubers, and I don't know how I feel about that. It's an interesting thing.
You just can't get rid of them.
I mean, I could burn some bridges. I could do that, no problem. That'd be easy. That'd only take like 15 minutes, and I could burn a lot of things down. That'd be very amusing.
Well, I hope you don't feel like you have to burn me down.
Hopefully not. I don't think so. And also, yeah, unfortunately, Ash, that is not a live cam. Imagine if it was.
Oh, yeah, that's just a still from my last video.
What if that still was actually a live cam?
You
just don't move for 2 hours. You
that
just
would be
that the whole time.
That would be obnoxious.
I feel like I would go insane if I couldn't move at all for 2 hours. Don't forget to burn Flirty. Yeah, I feel like if I wanted to leave YouTubers and completely blackball myself from ever being able to join back, one, as a mod, step one, you purge. You purge the server of any account that hasn't been around in a long time. That's step one. Step 2, start randomly banning people. Step 3, you leak some stuff that doesn't need to be leaked, and then bam, blackballed forever. Easy, 5-minute process.
So my buddy Crackhead said he had to get ready for work. Thanks for tuning in, man. It was
See you
lot of
later,
fun.
crackhead. Hopefully you're not doing crack at work. Or hopefully you are. Get you to the day.
I don't know.
Do you recommend doing crack at work, Info?
No, I don't. He also said that he could see himself watching our streams in the future, so I guess he enjoyed it.
That. I'm glad you at least enjoyed the backwards why.
The backwards Y, huh?
Yes.
I mean, it doesn't look backwards to me.
It doesn't for either of you two, but for the stream it does. Because for me it does. So that's
It's
not
reversed.
It's very A+. But when I flip it back, it doesn't look right. When I look at y'all, it looks... I'd be looking like this way, and that don't make sense.
And then he's distracted and he can't do the podcast.
Exactly. So it just is what it is. These are the things. Yes, YHW. What does YHW mean? Is that anything offensive? What's YHW? Let's see.
Hee-haw, partner.
It links to Shasu, which the Shasu from Egyptian were Semitic-speaking cattle nomads in the southern Levant from the late Bronze Age to the early Iron Age to the Third Intermediate period of Egypt. They were organized in clans under a certain chieftain and were described as brigades active from the Jezreel Valley to Ashkelon in the Sinai.
Well, YHW, you're just one H short of Yahweh.
Exactly. Also, when I open the window, a small bug has came in here now, and it's flying all around me, and it's very distracting.
Is it a June bug?
It is a small, it's like a nothing bug. Like if I'm gonna smack my hands one of these times like that, and I'm gonna nail it in the face. It's gonna die on the podcast.
I mean, all right, so I have a solution. Just go get a AK-47 banana clip and shoot it. Multiple times. Problem solved.
I don't even know where it is. I'd literally be shooting at like the monitors, my drink.
But you'd probably hit it.
I'd break everything in the process.
But you'd still get it.
I mean, fair. Can't argue that. I can't argue with results.
You know, that small bug probably wouldn't be hidden right now if you hadn't killed that ninja spider a few weeks back.
That was months back at this point, man.
Was it really months? Okay, whatever. You still
It's
killed it.
April. It's April. That happened like what?
I don't know, man.
In
Time doesn't
December,
flow right for me.
January?
I mean, I don't know. All I know is you killed the ninja spider, and ever since then you've had a bug problem. That's all I'm
We've
saying.
not had a bug problem since it's because I opened the window and something small was able to get in. Because I think there's a hole that they can get in, but I don't know.
That sounds not ideal.
Whatever. Whatever. It's just the one, as far as I know. So I'm not worried about it. The window's staying open because I need it. It's bringing me coolness. I need the coolness. It's gonna be open like all summer.
It's just there. It's okay.
Yeah, it's just there. It's okay. It'll drive me crazy and I'll kill it one of these times, but...
It's a short drive.
Yep. So, we went on a very big detour from talking about whether you wore the mask outside of videos and all that fun. So, Info.
Well, it is. You know, it is what mask wearing season again. So maybe I'll wear it to or something.
Heck yeah. Yeah, I definitely feel like if you were to ever, like in 5 years, just come back on the podcast, not saying it'd take 5 years for you to come back, but in like 5 years, just face cam with the mask.
Yeah.
The way it would have to be.
Mm-hmm. For continuity.
Exactly. It's also why I never have a problem if a guest doesn't want to use webcam, because whatever, your choice. I don't personally mind. I think, you know, it is what it is. Info has to get a webcam eventually. He will eventually, and it'll be a surprise to me, and I can't wait.
He will. The first thing he's going to see is a man with a paper bag over his head.
Well, you know, technically I won't know because Billup has cursed me. Like, you could have a webcam on right now and I wouldn't be able to see because of Billup.
Billup? What? Wait, what? Why did Billup curse? How did
Because
Billup,
he
what?
wants these pictures. He wants these pictures, and because of that, I don't see your actual thing on Discord.
Oh, nice. Good job, Billup.
Good job, Billup. You're gonna ruin the surprise one day with your idea. I'm the best, says Philip. There. Anyway, how many videos of Sollace have you seen, Info? Out of 7.
I've seen half of one.
Half of one.
Yes.
Well, that's more than Ryan. So.
Sorry,
it's more
Ryan.
than I expected.
I've watched. How many have I actually watched? Let me not lie here. Let me actually look at how many I've watched. I prefer to just give an honest answer with a guess on how many I've watched. Like, I have watched multiple. I don't know if I know I've commented to you about one of them. Probably
I mean, to be fair, I've never actually lied to a guest. I did. I forget which one it was.
No, I just throw you under the bus every time.
Yeah, I forget which one it was. I think it had I think it was something about a report of some sort. I think.
Oh, one of the deep dives, yeah.
Yeah, that one. I don't remember which one. I have no idea which one. I'll be completely honest with you. I started it, and it may not have even been the halfway point. I got like, I know I at least got over the quarter point. I think I got to the half point. I'm not really sure. And I was zoning out, and I was just like, today's not the day for this. And I just kind of clicked off of it. I'll be completely honest. There's nothing wrong with the video. It's just, as Wes, every guest we've ever had since I've become a co-host, and any content creator ever that wants me to watch their stuff knows, when it comes to watching stuff, I'm the worst at it. And
let me put it this way. Info threatened to kill himself in Pokemon Crystal because I named a Hoot after him. And so he said to me that he would watch a stream so he could have the right to vote someone out. That motherfucker's never gonna do it.
Oh, dude, I completely forgot to join to actually do that. I entirely forgot. I was going to, and then I forgot about it.
Yep, it's gone on you. You'll never do it because you won't remember to.
Yeah, honestly, I entirely forgot that I could vote to kill myself. I really did.
It's hilarious. You're A+. Okay, let's see. I have watched 2 of them. I haven't watched the ones from the past like 2 months. I watched I think the 5 months ago was probably when you first joined. Yeah, I think those 2 were the ones where you just joined. And that's where I tuned in.
Dave said he loves The Mask.
The Mask is great.
Yeah, I love it too. It's just kind of a little bit difficult to record audio with.
Ooh, I bet it would sound more muffly.
Yeah, I've only done one video where I was recording with a microphone inside the mask, and the audio was okay, but I was doing better with ADR.
What's gonna be the solution?
Well, I think it'll be the evolution of the mask. The next mask will be sort of a half face.
Ooh, that's good. That's good strat. Just, I mean, you can have a mask that covers the predominant features of the face without with the face part, or the mouth part, not the face part. Brain, blue screen, yes.
Yeah, well, I'm still not quite sure how many I'll have by the time I'm evolving the characters to that degree, because I'm still learning to write videos in a funny or a possibly dramatic way. I mean, I've only done 2 of the deep dives.
Yep.
I mean, I have I have the 3 playlists, and the little Sollace playlist, those are like 60 to 90 seconds. They're just us having fun, a palate cleanser between the heavy lifts of the other ones.
Yep.
And the Mirror Report Part 1 and 2, that's the Sollace in Troubled Times playlist, where our 2 characters talk about something serious. And the Volume 1 was my first one that uses a chess metaphor. The Volume 2 was just fun because I put the Mirror Report into the context of a Dungeons and Dragons adventure.
Very fair. Very
And
fair.
that was fun to do. And then in between these two lengths, the anything on the Sollace and Troubled Times playlist is going to be about 25 to 30 minutes. But we also have a couple of videos on the Finding Sollace playlist, which are just experimental, or I'm trying different things. The first one, I'm just reading a short story and playing around with the video effects. And the second one that's the one that my still here on this stream is from, and that's me essentially mimicking a vlogging format,
Yeah.
and seeing how that works out.
Very nice. Very nice. You know, something that I find very hilarious. Two things have been on my immediate radar of things that I see it and I laugh. And one of those is there's been a global drop in air pollution, reductions in traffic and industry, which have lowered the nitrogen dioxide levels, and that what's interesting about it is it gives you a preview of what what is it? Thanks for the follow, Honey Rose 3. What is it? I forget where. Oh, the canals in someplace, whatever. That the water there has gotten a lot better and a lot more stable without so much human engagement on them, and it's a very fascinating thing to be able to see.
It is nice to see that if given a chance, nature can recover from a lot of these things.
Yes, if we actually took a step back and was more responsible with our usage of how we treat the planet around us, it could actually get better.
Yeah,
this is
really
actual proof that we are not too late. If we just were more responsible, we could save it still.
Yeah, and that's one thing that when early on, oh geez, it's been forever now that they've been warning about global warming, climate change, call it what you will.
Yep.
And when I first heard of it, I said, well, yeah, maybe it is questionable as to whether or not it's happening and caused by humans, but finding it would still be worth doing because we end up with cleaner energy and less pollution. And it's interesting to see how quickly the skies in Beijing cleared. I've seen pictures and people have posted short videos, and it's absolutely fascinating to actually see clear skies in places where I've only seen photos of horrible smog.
Exactly. Also, thank you for the follow, Drew. I appreciate it.
Hey, so Honey and Drew are the homies. They're really good friends of mine. Yeah, they are.
Well, nice to see you guys.
Hi,
I talk
guys.
shit to Drew a lot, but he's a really good friend of mine, and so is Rose.
Very nice. But yeah, I am so fascinated to keep seeing examples of what our lack of involvement can help the planet and the various ways that it's actually helping.
Yeah, although this air quality business, seeing how dense that pollution is, that that kind of makes me wonder, what are we going to learn about the effects of pollution on people's lungs from this? I mean, we've learned that COVID-19 is a lung eater, but we know pollution is too. I mean, and people with pollution damaged lungs are at a greater risk. I'll be interested in some of the the post-pandemic science. How much does pollution increase susceptibility to this sort of thing?
Yeah, it's gonna be fascinating. I can't wait to see the various ways in which it is what it is. The way that things are just getting better. And obviously, that'll eventually change. But I'm curious how it'll go. I'm just very curious the long-term effects of our break from the norm, allowing the planet to recover.
Right. I read about a similar effect after 9/11, where planes weren't allowed to fly over the United States for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
The skies were clear of contrails, and fewer clouds were generated. Apparently, contrails played a bigger role in cloud creation than folks had suspected, and we suddenly had a laboratory to examine it.
Very nice. Very nice. I just can't. I really want to see at one point, it's like I would love to see how much further it could go, but obviously I keep skirting around it purposefully. The reason why this is happening, obviously that's not good, so it shouldn't last forever, but I don't know. The Earth deserves the break it's getting. If we're just talking about the Earth as a planet that needs to recover from abuse that we've undeniably done to it.
The planet can catch its breath.
Yes, the planet can catch its breath.
But you know, something kind of spooky is that when I was a kid, I read a book called Nature's End, which showed a near future collapse of the ecosystem. And it was set in the 30s, I think, so about 10 or 15 years from now. And one of the things that they said that they had in there as a plot point was the Amazon having a huge fire in 2019. That was perfectly predicted. So, you know, sometimes science fiction predicts things perfectly, and it's creepy when it does.
I mean, multiple animated comedies, whether it be Family Guy, Simpsons, South Park, or what have you, they've successfully predicted things that would happen as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's very fascinating to see.
Sometimes you just have to imagine the worst thing possible and then put it on the screen for people.
Yep, and then what people will be like, ha, that wouldn't happen.
Come to think of it, that's what I think that might be going on with my YouTube videos.
Oh. Well then.
I read an article. I want to say it was in Wuhan. Might have been in Hong Kong. I don't exactly know where it was. It was one of the places in China that was normally heavily, affected by pollution. But this whole situation going on right now, and everything kind of shut down. In the article, it talked about how for the first time, and I think it said it was either 50 years, 80 years. It was over 50 years. I do know that. The people actually heard birds chirping outside of their window, and they actually was able to see birds outside their window and streets and stuff like that from where the pollution was so low, and how it had cleared up so much that wildlife had come back to the city, which was
that's
really
nice having
cool.
birds again.
Yeah. Something that it's a small thing. I live in the country. I've always lived in the country. I've never lived in the city. And while I don't appreciate the beauty of trees as much as other people may, that they live in the city and they don't really get to see that full experience. What I really appreciate, the last few places I've lived, there's not really been many colorful birds. But where we are now, there's a super pretty red and blue bird that live right back to our backyard. And I enjoy looking at them sometimes.
See, I'm all about nature. I constantly when I'm up in the mountains and stuff like that, I'm always taking nature photos and stuff like that, and wildlife photos when I can and stuff like that. I love nature and wildlife.
Wait a moment. Are you gonna be a nature vlogger one day?
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I've considered it. I've actually considered opening up having an Instagram channel dedicated to the nature
about to
shots that I
say
take.
Instagram.
And,
it sounds like the perfect Instagram thing.
yeah, I was thinking about doing an Instagram for it, and then maybe Twitch streaming my adventures through the mountains and stuff like that.
I'd watch.
Letting people see stuff like that and just whatnot, and it'd be really cool.
Okay. Billup said birds drive me crazy, and he has a hypothetical for us. Look, if a human sat outside my window and started chirping obnoxiously, would that be acceptable, especially at 4 a.m.? How would you feel about that?
Okay, so I literally live next to turkeys, chickens, and ducks. So every single morning, as soon as the sun starts coming up, you hear and clucking and ducks quacking and horses neighing, because it's literally right beside my house. So you hear it every morning. So I'm at the point where wildlife doesn't affect me at all. Hearing those sounds, I'm more used to it than not.
I used to love my cows, and I'd hear them moo every so often.
And I've usually lived in cities, so I'm used to hearing noises from humans at all the different hours.
Have you ever lived in the city, Info?
I've never lived in the city. I have visited cities plenty of times, but I've never lived in one.
Yeah, I've visited them, but I've never actually lived in the city. That bug is
I think
lucky. It continued to fly in an area where I'm not gonna smack it yet.
I think the smallest city I've ever lived in was Bozeman, Montana, and that was like a few 10,000 people. I think I'd have to look it up.
That's crazy. I feel like I enjoy the beauty of living in the country, but I feel like my life fits being in the city mostly. Like right now, my biggest problem is like, okay, I don't drive. I'm not gonna drive. That's not a thing that you're gonna bend me on. I'm not driving ever. That's not
Fair
a thing.
enough.
So, living in the country, like by car, there's like a Walmart and like fast food places like 10 minutes from me. But a 10-minute by car is a long way by foot.
It's a long way.
And there's nothing that's in walking distance. I don't know. I feel like I'd do better in a city. One, because you have public transport as well.
Yeah. Now, yeah, I was reading about how a lot of rural counties they've kind of become food deserts. That is, there's no place to go to a grocery store, and it often coincides with that they become food deserts around the time that Walmart moves in, because they kind of kill off the local mom and pop grocery stores.
I mean, with us, because I live in a place where a Walmart was built like 34 years ago. Like it's a new Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
In that area, there was a Taco Bell. There was one other fast food place across the street, but that was it. There was nothing else there. Once Walmart opened, you got another gas station because they have a Walmart gas station, and then right beside it, you have a ton of other like places now that have been built because Walmart got built there. And they're not Walmart products. They're not like whatever else they own. It's random stuff are now right there as well instead of the nothingness that was there. So I feel like for us, having a Walmart just opened us up to having one, more places to eat, two, more places to shop at in that area. Although most of it's like specific stuff. Like I think Verizon's there. Some petting thing is there.
You got grocery store over there?
We have
near the Walmart?
We do, kinda. Not like right beside it, but there are, and a not long drive. I feel like peacocks, because Ash has peacocks in some neighborhoods around her. That would be, I don't know. Are peacocks good to look at? What are peacocks? Let me look. I have a visual of what they are, but are they actually what I think they are? They are.
It's a bird.
Yeah, they are a bird. They're very interesting looking creatures.
Drew also messaged me and said that over in Italy in the waterways you couldn't see fish before because of all the boats and stuff like that. It caused because of boat traffic and the water being dirty, and he said now you can.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of referring to earlier. I didn't know what it was specifically called, but yeah, stuff like that's amazing to see. Let's see. Okay, I guess that's a picture I can show. California, all I hear is traffic. Rip. Alright, let's see how the screen sharing does with it now.
Peacocks are awesome.
Peacocks. There you go. Is that? Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, peacocks are interesting to look at. I got bunnies in my backyard. Oh, I would love a bunny in my backyard.
My yard's full of rabbits. They're awesome to watch.
Will they let you go pet them?
Okay, so sort of yes, sort of no. Because we have so many of them, you can find like they like dig little holes in the yard, right? And that's where they have their little babies. And so we can go outside during the summertime whenever, I guess it's their breeding season or whatever, and you can find their holes that they have in the ground, and you can find the baby bunnies, and you can pick them up and pet them. I'm not sure if I saw the pictures or not, but there was a couple, like last summer, the summer before, where we actually had a bunch of baby bunnies that we had petted, and then the next year, it was like 2 summers ago, the babies actually come back, and had their babies in our yard, and their babies was tame, and so we could like go outside and pet them and stuff like that. It was really cool.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. Like, honestly, like, people that live in the city that may not see some of these animals in their backyard, that's the thing. I mean, we lived at one point by cows. I've lived by horses, which was also there. Now I don't really live by anything but, like, more, hay. Loved by hay before, loved by hay now. Guess that's
Dude,
just kind of the country life.
My neighbor's turkey could bench press a person. No cap.
Dude.
You want to see it? I have a picture of it.
Yes. I'll screen share it.
All right, give me one. Una momento. I gotta find where it's at in my folder. I think it's.
Aren't these experiences you might want, Sollace?
Here it is. See, like where I live at, because of like where I'm at in the country, we have raccoons, rabbits, deer, fox. We have seen coyotes before. All kinds of stuff. We have all kinds of different birds. Trying to think. We have so many different kinds of birds that come around. My favorite's hummingbirds. We put out hummingbird feeders every summer, and you can watch them flying around and stuff. Really cool.
This is Inception. I'm showing Discord on Discord.
Yep, that is in fact it. That is the turkey.
That is the turkey. Let's see. Let me make sure it's right. There you go. Is that right?
It can in fact bench press person.
Why is it? Oh, it breaks when I do that. But all right. Let's try a different method since that didn't really work as intended. It works for y'all, but not really for what I was aiming for. Yeah, fair. But yeah, this is badass. Badass turkey. California is always traffic. My dog dug up a rabbit burrow once and almost got the babies. That would be scary. I agree.
So we don't have to watch it. Drew has sent this video in. It's under a minute. It is about the Italy thing he was talking about.
Do we want to watch it?
Let's do it.
I mean,
okay.
It's up to you guys.
I can play it for everyone. It should work.
Sure, let's watch it.
Yeah,
let's see what Drew has given to the class.
Yeah, let's see. Let me get it set up. Let's see. All right, let's see. Make sure it's in the highest quality I can possibly give it to people. All right, let's see. Screen share. Yes. Did that have audio? It should. Yeah, it should. Okay. My childhood dog dug up multiple bunny burrows and it wasn't as nice of an ending. That's sad. Alrighty. Are we ready?
Sure. Oh, you can see the fish. That's so cool. I was actually unaware that Italy's water canals was so bad that you couldn't actually see fish out of it. I always assumed that you could just because it's a waterway and they're not like super deep. So seeing this is actually really, in a way, eye-opening. It's just how much we was damaging the planet more so than I guess even I realized.
Look at all those fish.
That's so cool. That's wicked. I'm actually really glad Drew sent me this.
Yeah, this is really cool. I'm happy to see it.
Thanks, Drew.
Here's the best.
He is. He's the homie, dude.
It's what I went back to. Like, I wish a free press matters. Good on whatever place. VOA News. Good on you.
Voice of America.
Voice of America. Good on you. All right. That was a good watch. I'm glad we went through that.
That was heartwarming.
Yes.
Yeah, that was cool.
And I think that just confirms everything I was saying. It just reaffirms that I would just love to see the continued effect it could have. Even if the actual reason behind why this is able to happen is terrible. I just wish in a hypothetical alternate future we could just see what our effect long term if we just stopped could do.
Well, it doesn't really have to be an alternative future. This is kind of an involuntary experiment we're in. We can we'll be able to collect data, and we'll be able to kind of compare and contrast, in the future, and maybe come up with something positive out of this that gives us a path forward.
Very true. Very true. Yeah, that water is super clear now compared to what it was. Yeah, I never knew fish were in that canal.
Yeah, I've seen pictures before, and it just seems like it's all muddy water, all silt churned up. Never seen it like that before.
It's crazy.
So I don't know if Dave is still around, because I know he said he was getting ready for work, so I don't know if he's popping in or out, whatever, out. Fuck, can't talk. But Drew, since you live in California as well, was the water there polluted? Is like what's the water been looking like in California since all this? Because I know California's been pretty hard shut down as well. Has it had any effects or any changes there?
Doesn't Ash also live in California?
Does she?
I think so.
Uh,
We have a very California crew today watching.
we do.
Good on you, California. Did you see?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, we definitely do. If Ash is from there, Drew's from there, Dave's from there, and we're an island.
Beaches are closed in my area. Don't know.
That's fair.
Ash only goes to the beaches, not any other water source, just the beaches. Did you say by 2020 it should be cheaper to buy new wind or solar capacity than continue operating coal anywhere in the world?
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, it's been, of course, that's kind of it's been a long-term trend where it's been just kind of cheaper to go ahead and with some of these renewables, or even with more easily accessible fossil fuels, and coal's kind of getting just priced out of the market. Nobody really wants to use it if they can avoid it. So it's kind of not surprising to me that in another 10 years we could have coal mines and coal plants kind of shut down, not because of any particular plan at a governmental or multi-governmental level, but just because of the way the market's working.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of the sad part. It's not doing what's for the best for the planet. It's about what financially makes sense.
Right.
That's what's sad to me. And that's why I have such an extreme stance on greed, because it's the biggest problem, and it's man-made. And it's unnecessary. But people, they can't see another way. And it makes me sad. I wish I knew the alternative.
I just want to walk outside and hop in like a private ship and go to other planets.
That would be amazing.
It would.
What if they were completely different and we're the only one? They won't, but what if? What if their way was just so much better?
It'd be so interesting. Just I don't know. Like, I'm all in favor of cleaner energy 100%. Like, I want that to definitely be the normal that we end up with. I want, just a way better different energy source and fuel source and everything else, because this right here has definitely shown that without all of the pollution that we have, like, the earth itself is just, it's definitely changed in a very positive way.
Yep.
And I'd love to see it keep up.
Yep.
I'm sure that when all this quarantine stuff ends or whatever, I mean, honestly speaking, I said it from the start with this whole virus thing, I'm willing to put money down that, things will actually definitely change going forward. It may not be like the most extreme changes, but I definitely think we'll see changes in how society goes about. I definitely think that this will change a lot of stuff around, and I'm hoping it'll be for the better and permanent too.
I hope so as well. I mean, I feel like another thing, and I guess I'll just move on from it. I'll just move on. We can't go down this road with me. I want to go down into topics we probably don't want to go to. So, yeah, wind and solar. What about oil? Isn't oil supposed to be on the downturn as well?
Well, we came up with the way to get at shale oil by fracking, and the U.S. kind of leads the world in that technology.
Isn't fracking bad though?
It has some externalities we don't like. water they use is extremely polluted, and there's no good way to store it, so it ends up leaking into groundwater in a lot of places. And out in the countryside, you can just be minding your own business, and then you see, like, week after week, if you're a rancher, you can see your cattle getting sick and dying because their water's been contaminated.
Very fair. Very fair. Yeah, I mean, I'm not super knowledgeable in fracking. I don't want to pretend I am in any way, shape, or form. I just know the general reception I always hear about it is that it not super good change.
Yeah, it's hard on the environment. It does actually get at more oil and natural gas. That part actually works, but nobody's doing the cleanup, and that's the mess. I mean, the best oil companies have been able to do after a century of being in operation and dealing with environmental things like oil spills and things like that. The best they can do is giant paper towels. And it's like they'll go ahead and pull all that stuff out of the ground and sell it, but they won't actually develop any technology to deal with things that go wrong. They leave it to the rest of us to clean up them.
Now, I feel like we've named good things that are coming from all of this. The world, the earth itself is recovering from damages from abuse it's done. Now, let's go ahead and flip that coin real quick, because did you know U.S. alcohol consumption is on the rise? It's surging, baby.
Yeah, well, I can understand that. I mean, I don't drink a lot, and in the past, most of the time when I've had a drink, it's usually been because I need a nightcap to get to sleep. Since I don't drink a lot, even a small amount of alcohol will put me to sleep. This makes me lousy at parties when I went to parties. But when I need to sleep, I can take a shot or two of something as a night. I can be out in 20 minutes. And right now, this is a kind of a stressful time, and I have had trouble sleeping. It occurs to me this might be the right time to, well, maybe try some new boozes that people recommend to me from time to time. So I can understand my reason for increasing alcohol consumption. I think everyone else might be feeling the stress too.
So let me give the numbers. U.S. sales of alcoholic beverages rose 55% in the week ended March 21st, according to market research firm Nielsen. Spirits, like, is spirits really the term we're using? Okay. Like tequila, gin, and premixed cocktails led the way, with sales jumping 75% compared to the same period last year. Wine sales were up 66%, while beer sales rose 42%. But online alcohol sales were up 243%. I didn't know spirits could be used in terms of alcohol buildup. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's usually the hard liquors like whiskeys and brandies and cognac.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I just think of spirits as like the human spirit. But,
and the ghosts.
Yeah,
ghosts from beyond the grave. Seeking spirits to drink.
Yes. Yeah, very common term for wine is spirits. Yeah, okay. I'm just not super into the alcohol thing. 1920s and recession and prohibition, depression's coming back. I feel like this just goes back to earlier where it's like, okay, without getting into the cause, I feel like this is a time for human growth. We run so much on going to work, to doing these basic things, doing this and that. And now that that's been taken away from most people, a lot of people are still working if you work in any kind of essential place. Some places that are open shouldn't be open still, but different topic. It all goes to how, like, for me personally, my life has changed 0%. It hasn't changed my day-to-day at all. And maybe that's a problem. Maybe it's a problem that, something like what's going on can happen and your day-to-day isn't affected. But
are you disturbed by the idea that the term social distancing is just a 2-word description of your life?
Not at all. For me, I feel like I'm an example of, like, I fully understand why a lot of people are feeling an impact, being social distancing and not having your normal routine, not being able to go out and do this, go out and do that. I think trying to look more optimistically, this opens the door for you to learn more things at home for you to enjoy. I think it's a time to explore without actually going out and exploring things in person. Finding what you can do at home that gives you a good joy.
Yeah, it is definitely a time. Oh, I've been using it to kind of expand my creativity some. Certainly, with the YouTube videos. Also trying to. I've also been keeping an eye on some of my writing acquaintances are engaged in what they're making small magazines, what they call quaranzines, and other folks have taken up knitting, and so there's a whole bunch of home creative projects underway. Yeah. There's been that video circulating of a family doing their own version of One More Day from Les Miserables. So that's something that's really neat. People haven't had to go out and make their own entertainment in 100 years, and now they're finding yes, they can still do it.
And I mean, another thing is, like, I understand, like, oh, maybe some people don't want to go out or not go out in that sense, but, like, go online and watch stuff all day. Maybe that's not your life. Maybe that's not what you're looking for. Maybe reading isn't what you want to do. Maybe video games isn't what you want to do. But there's so many possibilities of roads you can go down, both on the internet and not on the internet, that regardless, I don't know. I just feel like this is a time for people to expand their mind on making home life better. If your happiness all revolves around being able to leave and do other things, if you're not happy at home, which obviously I'm talking about a subset of people, I'm not talking about, like, everybody, I'm not talking about, like, maybe most of you are not who I'm referring to. But I've definitely seen this being stuck at home bothering a lot of people, and while that's a perfectly justifiable thing to feel, I'm not saying it's not in any way. I get it. I just feel like it's a time to expand, to grow, to find ways to enjoy your home life more. Since with this being what it is, apparently there's room to grow for some people with their home life.
Yeah, I think people are going to learn things about themselves they didn't know.
Absolutely. And that's what's interesting to me. That's what I can't wait until, like, 10 years from now to really get into the research of all of this.
Yeah.
To really get into the mindset after the fact. It's going to be a very fascinating thing to read about.
Yeah, because I mean, the last time we had the country kind of shut down like this, we had a little bit of a shutdown. Like when was that? Sometime in the 50s, there was a big epidemic of, at that time they called it Asian flu, and there were like 100,000 casualties or so, and there was some mild amount of social distancing then, but that didn't really make a dent on our national consciousness in the way like the 1918 pandemic did. I think this one is just 1918 all over again. I can't wait to see what comes of it. Actually, I just can't wait for it to be over.
Absolutely. I feel like everybody can't wait for it to be over. And yeah, it's definitely... That's the thing that fascinates me, is all about the human growth and what the recovery the planet's on. I enjoy seeing these two things. And, like, these are ways people can grow, and then this is a way the planet is being aided by all of this. So, I don't know.
Yep, and one of the effects of the regenerating planet is more insects in your room.
Apparently. Down with the insects in my room that keep distracting me at times. Because I'm going to kill them all.
Well, you'd have fewer if you hadn't killed that ninja spider.
Oh my gosh, with the ninja spider. It's fair. It's fair. I don't even
All I'm
remember the
saying,
spider.
all I'm saying is he had the spider in his room, he killed it, and then not even a day or so later, it was a stink bug got into his room. And if he hadn't killed the ninja spider, he never would have seen a stink bug because the spider would have got it. That's what I'm saying.
How dare you? How dare?
No, he was just saying.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So, now that I feel like we've completed that. Did we see that Sprint and T-Mobile are merging?
Oh God, yes.
How do we feel about that?
Personally, I feel pretty bad about it. Anytime there's any kind of huge merger, I mean, it annoys me. Pretty much all my life, when I've seen, when I've seen companies get some kind of tax break and they end up getting too big for their britches, they end up spending the money, their extra money, not on superior service to outcompete their competitors, but just to buy out or merge with their competitors. It's like over the time, as time goes by, we have fewer and fewer choices.
That makes sense.
I mean, at this point, they're calling it the new T-Mobile. It may as well just be like a government within the United States that's completely independent of any state or local or federal government.
I feel like I knew one. I mean, I think I had a T-Mobile phone like when I was 12, maybe, and I knew people that had a Sprint phone like a decade ago. I feel like Sprint and T-Mobile are not like on the rise, and they haven't been on the rise in forever. Cause I feel like they don't offer the top tier service, even if like customer support for Verizon may be the worst. Maybe they lie to you at every turn. Maybe they screw you at every turn. They still offer a better service, which is how they attract everyone, than a T-Mobile or Sprint. So maybe combining the two could lead to some kind of positive where there's a new option, even if it's not a more positive option. Maybe it's just another option.
Well, based on just how I've seen things go over the years, I'm consider me skeptical. But
I think you have every right to be. I think that's probably the best way to be. For me, normally my policy with competition, because I am one that feels like Steam should be a #1 dominator. Although I will say, this is okay. So I guess since the last podcast, I have committed a sin.
Oh.
I have played a game on the Epic Game Store officially, and I've put in, how many hours have I put into this game? Let's see. It's called Dauntless. I've talked about it a lot on the Discord. I play it quite a bit. Not so much in the last couple days. And we played Cuisine Royale today, so I mean...
Well, my son, for your penance, you'll have to do, I don't know, 10 Half-Lives.
Oh, I don't like the game Half-Life, though. Save me.
I mean, I'm all for more Half-Life.
I would... Billa would love me to play more Half-Life 1, I'm sure. I'm gonna beat it. I will beat that game. It's not done. Play more Half-Life. But it's gonna cost me to blow up. Alright, I have put 18 hours in under a week in Dauntless.
That's impressive.
It is. And I still feel like it would be better if it was just 1, but I am playing something on 2 now, so that's... How many hours? 18 on Dauntless. 18 hours. So...
I think we can forgive you.
But I do feel like with like Netflix, Hulu, and all that, it'd still be better as 1. Start Magic at Midnight 7 last week. Guess how many hours? I'll guess how many hours. Y'all can guess as well, but I'll have to close my windows. There's like 4 bugs now. It's like 4 small insects in my room now. It's not just 1, so I'm closing it.
I don't know what Might and Magic actually is. Being honest with you. So I'm gonna have to Google it before I guess the number. So based off of the pictures that I've seen, I'm going to assume you put at least 10 hours into it. At
boy.
least 10 hours.
Make sure you Google 7 info.
I did.
And Philip told me to make sure
Did
you...
Google lie to me just now? I put 7 in there.
I don't know. He wanted me to make sure you Googled 7.
I mean, from 1999, right? Yeah, I'm not tripping.
Don't know. So Wes says 10 hours in a week. What? I said 18. I played. And Phil said you did 10. I didn't make a guess.
Well, if you approach it like a full-time job, it's been a week ago, so maybe you could do as much as 40.
I'm gonna guess you've done 2 hours.
The game looks very Billaby, but it doesn't look like it's that great, so that's why I say 10.
I'm gonna guess 2. What was your guess, Sollace?
Well, Might and Magic, it's got its partisans. There's a lot of people who absolutely and will play it hour after hour. So I was going high.
Yes, I'm doing Price is Right rules.
Exactly.
Price is Right is the way to go.
I'm going to overbid at 40 hours.
All right, so we got 40, 10, and 2. Are we locking in our answers?
Yes.
All right. How about you, Info?
Let's do it.
All right. Who wins? Price is Right rules. Ooh, man. We got the drum roll. Come on, we got this. I got this. 2 hours. No whammy, no whammy.
Oh!
Sollace is closest,
I
but you
went
went over by
36
4.
hours. That's impressive.
So that means Info wins. Price is Right rules. 3 hours, not 4. Apparently. But good job, Info. You picked up the win. You know what your prize is?
Getting more green beans after the podcast.
No.
That's unfortunate.
It means you're gonna watch Twitch with me after the podcast, right? No? Yes? No?
Yeah, I can.
Are you actually?
Maybe not immediately because I got to do stuff on my daily. I got to do dailies on games because, my bitch ass fell asleep, so I didn't get to do them earlier. But after we can.
Okay. Okay. I'll play Dauntless while you do that then.
All right.
Sounds like a plan. Don't worry, I'm just organizing things. I'm an organizer. So, okay, do we all lean that Sprint and T-Mobile merchant is a good or bad thing? Where are we ending this with?
Personally, I think it's a bad thing.
How about you, Info?
I'm impartial to it because both companies are kind of some butt, and they're not very good. I'll be straight up. Like I've had friends who have had both of those, and between the constant losing service and bad customer support and literally anything and everything that could go wrong has went wrong with them, and they've all eventually swapped within like a month. I'm going to say that neither company is any good, so maybe a merger will actually make them okay now. That being said, mergers are never good.
Very fair. I'm gonna be optimistic and say it's gonna be an overall good thing.
Optimistic on the basis that it couldn't possibly get worse.
Exactly. So, the next thing I have to hear about. Sollace brought a couple topics, and I really want to hear about this Australian astrophysicist who stuck magnets up his nose.
Yeah, that went well.
What happened?
Well, you got a 27-year-old astrophysicist who's at home. He can't really do his research from home. And he decides he's going to try and build something to help out, to help people keep from touching their faces. And he thinks, I know, I'll build a device that's magnetic and provides a warning when people's hands are getting close to their faces. So he was doing this with neodymium magnets, rare earth magnets, super powerful things. And at one point, he comes up with the idea that he's got it stuck in his nose, like a piercing.
Yeah,
except that he's got one magnet on either side of his septum. They're separated only by that little bit of cartilage, and he can't get them out. And he starts trying to bring them out with another magnet. It gets stuck in his nose too. And then he gets a wrench to try and pull them out. The wrench gets magnetized and sticks to his face. So he has to ditch the magnets, and eventually his partner happens to work at a hospital, and just goes ahead, takes him to the hospital, laughing at him the whole time.
As you should.
And as you should, yeah. So off he went to the hospital to get them removed. And they applied the physicians. They applied an anesthetic spray and by hand went up each nostril to remove them. And on his emergency medical discharge summary, it says ended up with 3 magnets up left nostril, 1 up right nostril, all stuck together via septum. Denies difficulty breathing. Denies further magnets.
I mean, fair.
So it sounds, from that summary, it sounds like he gave up when he ran out of magnets.
I mean, when in doubt, you got to keep going and going.
Well,
and going.
It just kind of shows. It kind of shows that sometimes smart people can be really dumb too. No one's really immune from making fools of themselves.
How dare! We are the smartest people, clearly.
Oh, obviously.
Super clearly, we are the smartest of the smart.
Philip says that he is perfect.
Agreed.
I'm going to have to disagree with that.
How dare you? He is perfect. Why are you judging?
I mean, why is he not perfect making false claims?
I mean,
personally, this story to me has kind of a missing step. I don't know why he figured he wanted to put them on his face and not like his arms. The face and arms that move. I mean, well, how would you have built such a device, do you think?
I mean, I don't think
something that would warn you if your hands were getting too close to your face. I mean, if I were stuck at home trying to think of such, I don't know, attach magnets to my sleeves so that when my elbow belt bent just past a certain angle, the magnets would kind of click together. I could hear that happening.
Exactly. I could see that.
Probably what I would do if I wanted to put something that would make it so that your hands are getting too close to your face, I'd probably put like a strip of something on the back of my hand that has a really strong smell. So as your hand gets closer to your face, you can smell it and be like, oh yeah, and then take your hand away. That way you don't need to be sticking anything in your nose. You don't need to be taping anything to your face. It's just there on the back of your hand.
Yeah, you just cover your hand in something stinky.
Yeah, like a strip of something, and then problem solved.
Fair.
So I think we managed to outthink an astrophysicist.
We did. It's incredible. I can't believe it. We are the super smartest of the smart people. Like A+. We are the very best that no one ever was. To catch them was our true test, and to claim them was our cause. And who's gonna sing that song one day?
Something tells me he probably did think of that, but he's the big dumb and he didn't actually want to try.
I mean, that astrophysicist, he's a very smart person. You have to say that. He's probably a very smart person. But he's also very dumb.
I'm sure he's definitely very smart, but he's also very not smart. Let's be real here.
Info smart? I don't know about that.
Wait, what?
Mystic Crow in the chat with the info smart. I don't know about that.
Alright, so here's the deal. I'm one of the smartest dumbasses you'll ever meet, and that's just facts. Like, I have my moments where it's pure genius, and then I will have my moments, I will turn around and take that pure genius, and I will actually turn it to ash and ruin, and it'll just be fucked.
Very fair. Very fair. So, a Texas theater shut down a few weeks ago. And this week, they decided to turn their outside wall and parking lot into a drive-in theater with free screenings and carry-out food for sale. Every ticket through Tuesday has been sold out, and the theater is planning on adding additional showtimes to meet demand. I feel like that's a really positive thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that if all the theaters could do it, which obviously not all theaters can, but if they were able to, it's a really cool thing to be able.
Yeah, you get to stay in business, by you charge for the food, and hopefully folks will buy enough to help tide you over until the times are better, and you're showing films that people like.
Exactly.
Yeah, I read about this. I think they were showing Spider-Man: Far From Home, and and let's see, a couple of older films, Top Gun. So yeah, they're going out of their way to show some crowd-pleasing films here, and bringing in some cash they need to stay in business by serving them their quality food.
Are they still overpriced?
Oh, probably, yeah.
Fair. I mean, when was the last time y'all were at a theater?
Oh, fair question.
Let's see.
It's gonna be one or two movies for me, so I'm looking up the movies now. Oh, I got it. I know what year.
Found it?
Yep.
All right, so I'll be completely honest with you. I don't know the actual last one that I went to.
I do.
But the one that I remember going to see last was Jurassic World back in like 2015.
Ah, mine's farther back. What about you, Sollace?
I went last year.
Ooh.
I went to see Jojo Rabbit.
The last movie I watched in the theater, which wasn't my choice, how old was I at the time? Let me think about this. I was 14. So I had no say in this. We watched The Three Stooges, the 2012 movie. We watched that at theater.
I'm so sorry. Fixed point in time.
That was the last movie I watched in a theater, 2012. Before that was the G.I. Joe movie, which was like 3 years back. Before that.
Are you okay?
I mean... Do I look okay?
I'll let Info answer that one.
Info, do I look okay?
Debatable. Gotta mute my mic real quick so rip layout.
Fuck. Fixed it.
My apologies.
Fair.
My dude, pollen count here in my state has been so high. My allergies has been absolutely like so not fun to deal with.
I bet, man. I feel like every day, when you talk more, it messes with your sinuses a little bit. It's a very fascinating thing, because I feel like every day, it's either I can feel my nose being stuffy or not. And I feel like it's just random feelings with sinuses you get when you're talking for multiple hours, multiple days in a row. It's very fascinating. Oh, hey! The classy gentleman actually in the chat. Good on you, Info.
I had to hit him with a no you.
You have to hit him with a no you.
Get fucked,
No
Trevor.
you is the weapon of choice when defending your honor.
Exactly. I absolutely can agree with that. Alright, so... going from a good deed to a bad deed, as we must do. Gearbox. For shame. Despite huge sales, the Borderlands 3 developers are getting stuffed on bonuses. I actually seen this the day it was a thing. I don't always catch these news things the day of. But I seen that, and it's companies being jerks for no good reason. Like, there's no way you can dig into that and be like, okay, I see why they did this. I get it. It was totally understandable why they do this. No, they're just being scummy. That's their life. I feel bad for those developers that deserve the bonuses they were promised.
Yeah, it's a cost of business.
Yep. They were promised the bonuses because let me make sure I'm getting my facts right. They get small bonus checks, but according to this, you know.
Yeah, they were promised like 5, even 6-figure bonus checks
for this. So it's like.
Yeah, and 2K is saying it's like $1 billion brand, but somehow there's no money to actually pay your people.
Well, who needs to pay your people when you can just make all the money?
That's a very Hollywood move. It really is, you know, because, I mean, at this point, the games industry now has the exact same problem as the movie industry. There's too much money.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for me, when I play a game, when I watch a movie, it's only one thing: surprise me. And I'm having a harder and harder time finding AAA games that I enjoy because fewer of them surprised me in the past. And that's because when you're spending that kind of money, you kind of have to craft it to be like a sure hit. Not I don't mean to use the word lowest common denominator, but you want to use features that people are familiar with, so all the games end up feeling kind of familiar in a way.
We have a question in the chat for myself and Sollace. Fuck you, Info. You don't get to answer it, apparently.
I was going to say, he asked me a few minutes ago, and I told him that I would ask you guys when a chance popped up. But
a chance has popped up.
Yeah.
A wild chance has appeared.
Yes, a wild chance. Do you want to take it then? Since you said you'd do it, go ahead.
I mean, sure. He actually asked, his initial question was if you and Sollace played AFK Arena, that mobile game that I've been addicted to for the last 6 months. And I told him that Wes didn't. I tried to get him to play it. I did, but Wes is a bad person. He wouldn't play it. He wouldn't try it. And so that happened. And then he asked me, he said, do they play any games in general?
Yep. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I can resolve this issue, no problem. One moment. Sollace, feel free to answer as I'm doing this.
What was the question?
What?
Games in general?
Go ahead, Info.
Oh, he wanted to know if you, like, played any games. What games do you play? And do you ever stream or record them? Pretty much.
Well, I have dipped my toes in streaming. I've been playing something topical, Plague Incorporated. So I've been streaming a little bit of that and just kind of talking to myself as I figure out ways to infect the world.
Very fair. Very fair.
Yeah. But in general, when I'm playing on my own, I kind of go for big grand strategy games, historical games like Civilization, and I play a lot of the Paradox games. Like my number one game would be Crusader Kings 2. If Steam is correct, I've got almost 2,000 hours in that one.
Oh, wow.
I also like big open world games, so I've put in hundreds of hours into Fallout 4 and Oblivion and Skyrim.
Alrighty. That I don't have to actually speak on that. I just showed everyone what games I've streamed since I started streaming in November. So I cheat to answer that question.
That's fair.
When in doubt. That's why I have a spreadsheet.
Fair enough.
Spreadsheet FTW?
Yep. Absolutely. So I didn't know you worked at Square Enix, Info.
I do?
Yeah. I mean, I know you're the one to blame, because, I mean, they pushed out an update for Final Fantasy that completely broke it on the PC. It deletes the whole game.
It deletes the whole game?
Yes, I know that was you. I know that was you, Info. It literally removes all the files.
That's an impressive patch. I mean, you know, it can't be broken if it's not there.
Exactly. So, I didn't know you worked at Square Enix, and I'm impressed that you were able to do this.
I'm impressed, too. I was unaware that I was capable of something like this.
So... How does a company let this happen? How do you release an update that literally deletes your game? How?
Yeah, I have heard of. I've heard of. You know, there's plenty of patches that will break a game because they didn't test it sufficiently. But deleting a game's files, that's a new one on me. I'm genuinely impressed.
That is impressive levels of bad.
I would like to point out that back during the
Back in my day.
let's see, what was it? The Fallout 76 or whatever. During its beta process. As we all know, that game runs fantastic, suck good, and best game of the year. And I'll probably throw up after saying that down the road. But back when its beta was going on, there was actually a glitch that happened where apparently the game, I didn't actually experience it myself, I don't know, but the game would uninstall itself and download Skyrim.
Huh. Nice. Do you want to play Skyrim again? Yes, you do.
It was just a rumor that I'd heard. I don't know if it was actually true or not. It was just something that I'd heard. But if it was actually true, man, that'd have been one hell of a glitch.
Hi, Damien. Welcome to the podcast. How are you? Hope you're doing well. I can't believe. I mean, we all know Info's gonna buy Skyrim when it comes out on the new consoles. We all know that's gonna happen.
How dare you assume the truth?
Exactly. How dare I assume the truth? And I mean, I want to know how much money they make off each remake. Which remake has been the most successful? Which one has been the most successful?
That's a good question.
It's a fair question.
Yeah, they're getting a lot of mileage out of a 9-year-old game. I'm very.
Absolutely. I mean, honestly, they got the most mileage they could possibly get out of it.
Yeah, but now they've got the Elder Scrolls Online. Are they ever going to have an Elder Scrolls 6? I keep hearing yes. I keep hearing no.
Yes, they will. I think that's literally like in the next couple years we're going to hear more and more about it. Like I'm pretty sure there's been pictures coming in a little bit.
Okay, do we know where that one will be set? The last I heard, like 2 or 3 years ago, they're thinking of Black Marsh, I think it was.
Don't know. I have no idea.
It takes place. The next Elder Scrolls takes place in the Redguard territory, wherever the hell that's at.
All right. So, completely off topic, but I have to get this in because it's on the mind now. So, have we watched the live action Scooby-Doo movies? Scooby-Doo 1 and 2?
I sure hope not. Well, I haven't anyway. If I have, I blanked it out of my mind.
I watched them and I enjoyed them as a kid. How about you, Info?
I've never seen them.
GG. Well.
Yeah.
James Gunn,
As far as I know, I've only ever seen the animated show.
Very fair. I think they're okay. I don't think they're like the greatest thing ever, but they're very amusing. And they make good memes now. And I mean, that's kind of what the world is, memes. But James Gunn did an AMA that was a very serious AMA, but it did take place on April 1st.
Uh-oh.
So that's what I went into this topic telling you guys that this was an April 1st AMA. So while his answers were very serious, someone asked him what was Scooby-Doo 3 going to be about because it didn't happen. Because the second movie got a poor reception because people are people. He said it was going to be the mystery ink ganger hired by a town in Scotland who complained they're being plagued by monsters, but we discovered throughout the film the monsters are actually the victims, and Scooby and Shaggy have to come to terms with their own prejudices and narrow belief systems. And he put in parentheses, yes, really. So it was a very serious AMA. He did finish it with yes, really, but it was on April 1st. So I don't want to say that was actually what the plot idea was going to be, but this is what he's saying it was going to be. So keeping that in mind, how do we feel about that? One, do we trust him? Do we trust James Gunn to have been honest here?
It's possible, but I don't trust any movie pitch you can actually make in a single sentence like that. So there's a lot. I'm sure there's a lot of details that would make it sound less ludicrous.
That's fair. How about you, Info? Do you trust James Gunn,
I mean,
the hero?
I don't know. I mean, maybe. I'll be honest with you. I'm not really a movie person, so if he does it and it's good, and if yay. If
Well,
he
Scooby-Doo
doesn't,
3
it
is never
doesn't.
gonna happen. It got canceled like a decade ago. Like,
Oh,
like
I mean,
15 years ago, actually, it got canceled. So, this is just what it was gonna be. Like, he has
but,
no
like-
reason to lie about it. It's not gonna happen now. He'd only be lying about it to amuse himself.
Was he drinking heavily before this AMA?
I don't know. But I mean, the plot doesn't sound terrible.
Well, the thing is that Scooby-Doo has changed so much over the years. Back in the day, it was they were running around solving mysteries, and it always turned out to be some guy in a mask. And even though the plots were predictable, I kind of liked that aspect because it was a skeptic's show. There was always a perfectly natural explanation for what was going on. But when you start throwing in actual monsters, that kind of muddies the waters, and the plots seem less satisfactory, at least from my point of view.
That's fair. That's fair. I think Scooby-Doo 2 was great. I haven't watched it as an adult, so I'm not gonna, like, 1000% die on the sword, but I'm gonna die on the sword in the same way I'm gonna die on the sword that Spider-Man 3 was the best of the 3 Tobey Maguire movies, and the best Spider-Man movie live action, period.
The one with Venom?
Venom and Sandman, yes.
Okay.
I get the critique. If you are a big comic person, I get how it could bother you. I understand it. But if you remove that from your brain, I think it's a good movie.
I never watched the Spider-Man movies, and I will continue to not watch them. I don't care for them.
Fair. That's fair. I don't blame you.
Well, I enjoyed Into the Spider-Verse, and I'm not a big comics person, but I did like how it approximated the appearance and feel of comic books on the screen. Artistically, that was my favorite movie.
Very nice. Very nice. So, tell me about this semi in Texas.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I mean, it just kind of seemed like a moment filled with pathos in the current era, with everyone so focused on toilet paper these days. Yeah, it was just south of Dallas, where I-20 and I-45 meet. There was a semi that crashed and burned, and its load was nothing but toilet paper. And it wasn't like the consumer rolls, but it was like the larger business rolls. But still, the symbolism of all that toilet paper going up in smoke really made me think that I'm glad I don't need toilet paper right now.
Very fair. Very fair. I mean, toilet paper has gotten stolen. It's been it's been hoarded, and now it's been burnt.
Yeah, and it's like as if the 7 plagues of Egypt are suddenly being visited on toilet paper.
I mean, if you ask me,
I'm waiting for locusts.
I feel like toilet paper should be the new currency.
It's certainly seems to be the most valuable substance, right?
Exactly.
You could establish a whole new currency based on trading toilet paper.
So,
By the sheet, by the roll, doesn't really make a difference.
how do you feel about this info? The poor toilet paper that got burnt. Nobody can have it.
I mean, I'm more concerned with the fact that Crackhead just said you two are more interesting than I am.
I mean, we are.
We about to fisticuff, boy.
I mean, we are. We are more interested in you, info.
Well, I think info means that those are fighting words.
We need to bring Solo into this conversation, apparently. Kangaroo dollars is the new currency. Change my mind. I will not change my mind.
No, so he's saying that because I was on Discord the other day, and while I was on there was people arguing about price exchange rates because this guy, like, everything he went to buy on AFK was more expensive, And so we come to the conclusion that the reason it was more expensive, because everyone couldn't figure out why, was that he had Australian dollars as his primary thing because he lived in Australia, but he referred to them as kangaroo dollars. And I said right then and there, Australian dollars could never be anything but kangaroo dollars again.
So would that make the New Zealand dollar Kiwi?
I'm all in favor of this.
Oh, Sollace, 2 questions. One
What's
come
up?
from Damien. I want to get to it because I don't want him to think I ignored his comment. Could we get Barbarian's backstory on the record here as a BS Back in the Shed podcast exclusive? I don't know what that's referring to, but I just wanted to get that in there.
Well, let me see. I've actually got the origin story script handy.
Ooh.
Let me see, because we've been looking forward to doing something to kind of give the backstory, and I don't want to give anything away, but I will say this, that something happened in 2016 when she was on the way to a Renaissance, and she just kind of gave up on the world and is on strike until things get better. So that's the Barbarian's backstory.
Very nice, very nice. And you'll be able to catch more in depth at JS Sollace.
That's right. Please tune in. And actually, if things go well, we're going to start filming that Monday.
Ooh, very nice, very nice. I can't wait. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be some good stuff. Okay, so the other question was, which I've lost. It wasn't a chat question. Damien's already subbed. GG. Let's see. Number 1 fan is Damien. How do you feel about that, Sollace? That Damien's the number 1 fan.
Well, I'm still astonished that I would have any fans.
So I guess we're satisfied with.
I'm very satisfied. Thank you, Damien.
Heck yeah. So, I feel like the real question that I have is lost to me. So I don't know what the question is, to be honest. I thought if I hyped my brain back up to it, it'd come back to me. Oh,
Have you
it's
tried
back,
turning
it's
it
back,
off
it's
and
back.
on?
Okay, so, Sollace.
Okay.
I have to know. What are your thoughts on bidets?
Oh, they are great. You know, I had a chance to go to Kyoto back in 2013,
Uh-huh.
and we rented a house, and the house there had one of those overcomplicated Japanese toilets, and I gave the bidet function a try, and it was my happy.
Oh, she cut out.
Yeah, you cut out a little bit. What is your input sensitivity set to on Discord? You can check that by going
Let me have a look.
You're going to go to the bottom left, user settings. You're going to want to go to voice and video, and then in the middle of that screen, it should say input sensitivity. It will probably be checked automatically determine input sensitivity. Am I correct?
Yeah.
You'll want to press that, and you'll want to slide that all the way to the left.
All the way to the left, like so.
Yes, you're very quiet now.
How's this?
You are louder. You may be
Alright.
changing a different thing. I'm unsure.
Well, I had noticed that input volume was at 100%. So
Oh,
I
I'm
cut
talking
that
about
in
input sensitivity, not input
Right.
volume. Yeah.
and then I corrected input sensitivity.
All right. Okay. All right.
So, is that okay?
You should be. Anytime
No,
that
I-
thing happens with anybody, it's usually just input sensitivity, and it
Okay.
hasn't really happened often. But I figured
Okay.
that it happened just there, and we couldn't get it, so I figured, you know.
Thanks for the tip.
All right. Yeah, it's a good Discord. If there's a Discord pro people here, we know Discord here. Sometimes it's push to talk. Push to talk could also be it if you're pressing it. But if you're not, then input sensitivity is probably the thing.
Yep.
To
But
Damien's point.
what I-
Yeah. So
What I was saying when I was cutting out is the Japanese toilet with its bidet function. It gave me happy butt for the rest of the day. So I like them.
good. Info, on the other hand, feels bidets are the scum of the earth.
Yeah, but they're very clean scum.
Yes.
Okay, so listen, as per last time we talked about bidets on the podcast, I've said it once and I'll say it again. I'm willing to try a bidet,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't want anything that has the possibility to turbo my asshole with a jet of water going near it.
Why?
Because I ain't trying to get my butt clean and accidentally get something else entirely different. Okay, this is not something that I want, because you never know when it's going to malfunction, and you're just getting a laser jet of water right up in there, just right there.
You
What
never
do you
know when
think
it's
the worst that could happen?
a laser jet of water up there. That's what he said.
What do you
You're
think that's
like-
going to cause? What negative side effects do you think it's going to cause from a jet of water just shooting up your ass?
Well, you know that you ever heard of involuntary enema?
Yes.
Well, I haven't, so make of it what you will.
All right. So there you go. I mean, you're in the bathroom already, so it
Yeah,
resolves
and you know,
itself.
I kind of figured that if you end up with if you get some crap on your hands, or if you get it attached anywhere in your body, you're not going to just wipe it off. You're going to wash it off if you can.
I love what anytime that's brought up, because it's so true. It's the ultimate true thing. Like, if you get crap on your hand, you're not just gonna get a paper towel and wipe it off and be like, oh, this is good.
No, I'm going to want to sanitize that spot.
Exactly, but you're not gonna do the same thing for your rear end?
Yeah, I mean, it's right there next to your joy department. You want it as clean as possible.
Exactly. How do you feel about that info? What's your reply to that argument? Would you just wipe it off with a paper towel on your hand to be good? You just put it back on your hand and such? You touch all your face?
We're not talking about it.
When he doesn't have a good point, so he has to be like, oh, nope, back it away.
Well, I do have to admit, if you've never used a bidet, get some getting used to, because you've got that mental barrier where it's something different from what you've done before.
Exactly.
And I kind of gave it a try because I got an adventurous spirit. What can I say? And I was kind of surprised that that it was all right.
Very nice. Very nice. I've not tried it either, but I feel like I'm super open to the idea.
I mean, I said I'd try it. I can't promise it would be my go-to, because again, malfunctions could happen, and
You're so paranoid about a malfunction. It's very enjoyable to me.
listen,
Well,
I have seen toilets, and they have a turbo function on them. Okay, I've seen the button. It has the ability to go turbo mode. So, like, what if a malfunction and the turbo mode mixes, and the thought is not good. I don't need something turboing my asshole. I'm sorry, but I don't.
These toilets, these bidets, they're not programmed by Microsoft. It's going to be okay.
Damn.
They're published
So-
by Bethesda, so the water's gonna keep coming. Every couple moments, it's gonna keep going. It's gonna be a remake, boom. Another remake, boom. It's gonna release here, boom. And again, boom.
Anyway, to answer your question about how I feel about Infu, the Infu with the Hoo Damien. So when I found out about it, the first thing I asked Wes was, could I kill myself?
To which we
That-
replied, unknowing what you meant, telling you shouldn't kill yourself. No.
Yeah, and then I said it was the owl, and then I proceeded to say, can I kill myself in the game?
To which it is possible. You could, in theory, do it.
And
I
then
don't think
forgot.
Damien knows what you did yet, Billum. I never said it. I never said what you did. He knows Spaghetti's back. But I don't... Ah, Damien does know. Ah. Alright. There you go. I never said it. Revenge. There was petty revenge in the last stream.
Petty revenge.
It was petty. That's for Stinky!
Oh,
With-
for voting off one of your Pokemons?
Yeah, so how it goes with Pokemon Crystal, I do this Chaos run, I'm not gonna go Super, and it takes 3 votes to re-vote someone out, and I'm not gonna vote for it because I need someone with cut, you fucker. So... How this Chaos run works, without going super into the actual details, at the end of every stream, can I catch every new Pokemon I find if I have the Pokeballs available and such? Everybody that was active in the chat for a good period of time, that's also someone I can contact before the next stream. they have the option to vote out a Pokemon, and it only takes one vote to vote out someone. But what happened was, I don't know if you know Pokemon, there are different HMs that you need, and not all Pokemon can learn them. Well, all the Pokemon that could learn Cut were voted out. Which I don't think was intentional. I'm not gonna say it was. But that was the thing. All my Pokemon that could learn Cut were voted out. So, Billup and I had to vote someone back in, and so we voted Spaghetti back in, and we agreed that if someone can come back, someone has to go in. Someone has to fill that spot. And so Anal Beebs was voted off. And so, now Damien, because Damien was the one that voted off, Spaghetti, which was a Billup pick. And Billup wanted to get back at him. You're voting off Meatball. That was not Billup's pick. That was Ryan's Pokemon. That was Ryan's. But, okay. And so you can eliminate a Pokemon that has been brought back, but it takes 1 to send it away, 2 to bring it back, and 3 to get it back gone. And so that's the system. That would be the system, man. I don't know. It's just the way it's been. I don't know if anybody specifically cares, but the chat came into Pokemon Crystal Talk, so I figured I'd need to explain it. Because the people that watch the podcast aren't the same people, necessarily, that are tuning in for Crystal, so I needed to explain.
Hey, I seen the bugs flying across the camera. You can see it buzzing.
It's a troll. It's a trolling. I can't like go like bam right like that. That doesn't work. I mean, I could, but I'm gonna knock shit over. And this is an open cup, so if this spills, it's gonna make a mess. So I have to be careful. All right, what were we talking about? I know we were talking about because Damien brought up how does Infu feel about Infu with the hoo-hoo. So Infu threatened to show up to a stream so he could vote himself off. Now, my response is the same it's always been. Infu says he'll do things, but he won't. He's not going to. He won't.
I mean, no, okay, I'll eventually do it.
No, you won't.
I mean, I
am so confident that you will not remember to, or even if you do remember, you're going to be too lazy to do it. Because I'm not talking you show up in chat for 20 minutes and that counts. That doesn't count.
How long do I have to sit in your chat before I can kill myself?
I would say the minimum of you being active in the chat would be like an hour. I would accept an hour.
He has to wait an hour to kill himself?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so here's the deal. Next time I come to your stream, if I have audio and it's not fucking up...
He's gonna put a 60-minute timer on the clock.
I will put a 60-minute timer on my phone and I will sit in your chat for an hour to commit Sudoku.
This is what I deal with. And he's gonna...
Sudoku.
He's gonna hop out the moment. He's gonna be like, oh, that was my 60 minutes. I'm voting myself gone. Goodbye.
I'm off the island. Get fucked.
Infu's the troll. I'm still confident he won't do it, though.
Okay, so you're very correct on the lazy thing. I'll remember.
You'll
Sudoku.
remember.
Yes, it is Sudoku. Trust me, I'm a teacher. But it is definitely one of those things where I am way lazier than I am forgetful. I will remember a lot of times. That. Yeah, definitely. So you're 100% correct on that. I will definitely remember and probably just be like, effort, and then I'll just not do it. For the record, before people start attacking me, it's actually seppuku. I fucking know I made a joke, damn it. But anyway, yeah, lazy.
All right, so we have another trailer to watch. Well, this is our first trailer, but we watched the one video earlier. I'm
Okay.
curious to watch this because I've seen hints about it. I don't play Minecraft really, but I find this Harry Potter project really cool. And it's only a minute and 16 seconds, so it may not actually show anything that I'll consider satisfying, but I am curious. So, we need to answer Ash's question. Can I watch for 60 minutes to cancel his vote? You need someone else to vote to save Info as well.
So you mean to tell me that even if I give my time to kill myself, that there's a chance that someone can make it so I couldn't?
I mean, your vote would still count. You would eliminate yourself for a little bit.
Man, can't fucking kill myself in peace. I swear.
You'd have to have 3 people after that. Ash has had my back all stream and Info hasn't. I'm with you, Ash. This is the consequences you're doing to yourself, man.
I mean, hold on. When did I have your back, Billab?
All night. All night you've been against Billab.
I don't think it was entirely every chance.
Fair. Either way, I'm gonna give y'all a minute to stew as we watch this video. Wow. Wow. That's the thing.
It is. It's actually.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you can go ahead.
It's a mod on Minecraft that's really like the developers put like so much time into that. It's not even funny.
I've been hearing about it for a while, man, and I don't play Minecraft, but I'd love to play this.
So I'm trying to think. I had one of my buddies who is really big in the Minecraft communities and stuff like that. Actually, he actually like met one of the people working on that, like one of the developers working on that mod pack or whatever, because there's more than one.
Yeah.
And he said that before they even made it a public thing, they've actually been working on it since, I think he told me 2015, something like that. Like, it's been in development for so long now. Like, it's pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get it?
I don't think so. I think I got one earlier, but another one immediately flew at me, so I'm not sure. I know there's at least 4 in my room, or were 4 in my room. I don't know what they are, to be honest. They're not harmful. Like, I'm not worried about them hurting or harming anything. But, like, I don't want them in my drink or anything, so I would like to get rid of them. But yeah, I'm really impressed by that Harry Potter Minecraft mod. I would absolutely go play it.
I'm really impressed by the amount of work that went into that. Because I've tried my hand at level design, and I get lazy so fast. I get overwhelmed, you know. And the idea of being able to stick with that, you said for 5 years now.
About that point, I think is what he told me. It was like 2015, 2016, somewhere around in that time period.
That is impressive, man. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and see, you see the location, you see Hogwarts a little bit, and it's like, okay, how much are they actually gonna do? You seen the troll, you seen the monster book, you see the Death Eaters, and like some of these things don't take a lot. I'd rather gouge my eyes out at Harry Potter.
Yeah, but you're also just weird, so.
That's a controversial opinion to me, so I love Harry Potter. I'm not saying all the movies are a masterpiece, but anytime they marathon those movies, I am happy to watch them for a little bit. Harry Potter's good. Fantastic Beasts could be better, but Harry Potter's good. So, our very last thing that I seen for the week. Scientists have repurposed living frog cells and assembled them into an entirely new life form. These novel living machines are neither a traditional robot nor a known species of animal. They're a new class of artifact, a living, programmable organism.
Yeah. Yeah, living machines. It seems like a reasonable direction for technology to go. Once and it's something you don't generally see a lot, even in kind of like speculative fiction. A lot, because you still get a lot of the hardware, hard tech sort of thing, manufactured objects, as opposed to grown machines, grown spaceships, living devices. They pop up from time to time in science fiction, but people seem to like the flashier hard tech that we're kind of familiar with.
Yeah.
But biotech seems like it's the way it's going to have to go if we're going to have any real progress.
Sollace, do you read a lot of sci-fi? This is a question from Bill Up.
I do.
Sci-fi is some good stuff.
It is, yeah. A few years ago, my favorite SF author, Ian Banks, died, and it's unfortunate because I loved everything he did. He essentially wrote a series of connected novels in what's called the Culture universe, and they're not. There's only one book that's a direct sequel to another, but they're separated by 300 years, so it's different characters. Everything else is kind of thematically related, so it's not a case where you have the same set of characters and it kind of gets worn out. It kind of held my attention because it kind of created an atmosphere of this futuristic society.
Yeah.
And one of the things they did have was substantial control of biotechnology, not just living machines, but also the ability to change their own bodies. But yeah, this is science fiction biotech. I mean, forget the flying cars. This is what the future will be, if we have a future.
The future is now.
Yeah, because honestly, if you could have an entire class of living machines that you could send out, for example, out into the Pacific to eat up microplastics, that would be magnificent. We'd never be able to actually build that many, but we could perhaps grow that many.
Yeah. So what are your favorite sci-fi books?
Let's see. Probably. I would say probably Banks wrote a novel called Excursion, which was the first one by him I ever read. And when I read the book jacket, it sounded like I was trying to write science fiction at the time myself, and it read like something I was that I would write. Something about how there is a star has appeared at the edge of space that's like 20 times older than the universe itself, and the only way they can actually get to the star and learn something of its secret is to resurrect a space captain who's been dead for 500 years. So just kind of an odd plot to read off the back of a book, and I just had to read it, and I loved it, and I still love it today. Although his one of his hardest hitting books is probably let's see, what was that called? Oh man, it's been too long since I've read these. I need to go back and read these. But he had he had it wasn't actually set in the culture universe. Ian Banks. Let me Google this because I must because I'm up a little bit past my normal bedtime. So let me see if I can find this book, the culture novels. Against a Dark Background, which essentially deals with like a futuristic society that's isolated in a single solar system. Imagine a situation where you never have interstellar travel, where you're just limited to one system. And this particular solar system, its culture has been around for thousands of years. They had civilizations rise and fall. They've had like 7 nuclear wars, so they had to restart civilization at least that many times. And things just kind of get gradually grimmer and grimmer for our main character as she realizes that the forces she's fighting are actually just the people closest to her.
Very nice. See, I feel like sci-fi books, to me, I feel like kid me loves sci-fi books. Current me, I don't read very often, but I don't know.
Okay.
I feel like sci-fi is still good. I don't want to say I don't like sci-fi. Sci-fi is still pretty cool. I don't know. It feels like I kind of went through the same evolution I went with as a kid when it comes to I grew out of cartoons pretty quick compared to I feel like most of the kids in my class. I feel like I just grew to real action, live action or whatever things sooner. And I don't feel like sci-fi's for kids or anything. I just feel like I don't know.
Well, some of it's the like space opera where it's just kind of over the top Star Wars style, and some of it's kind of more this is what a futuristic society might look like. So it's more like social science fiction, and imagining different societies in which I could live. That's very interesting to me.
Very fair. Very fair.
Yeah, but like I said, Banks died many years ago. I was hoping that someday I would get to meet him, but I never did. I wanted to compliment him. There was a book by him that I was shying away from recommending because it's kind of nasty. Use of Weapons is the name of the SF book, and it's a very complicated novel. The main story is told in chronological order, but it's interspersed with the character's background in reverse order. So it's these alternate chapters, and they kind of meet in the middle, and there's an amazing explanation of who this person is in the last few pages. And the novel's absolutely fascinating. Banks is most famous, he's a Scottish author. He's most famous for his first novel, The Wasp Factory, which was described by his hometown paper as the literary equivalent of juvenile delinquency. So it's the only book I've ever seen where they included negative reviews on the jacket, just to kind of show off, I think.
Very nice. Very nice. Do you have any favorite sci-fi books, Info?
I mean, that's pretty tough. I've got a lot of books that I really love. I would say that probably the one that I've enjoyed reading the most, probably I want to say the Halo books based off the video game series, just because I'm a huge Halo fan. So, and it expands on that universe, and I just absolutely love them. They're absolutely fantastic, and I really like seeing how they expanded on the universe in those books. In terms of non-video game books, there was let's see, it's called Incarceran, and it's about the book takes place sometime off in the future when technology got like crazy. They built this thing that like froze time, right? They could set the time they wanted and froze it, and they set it in like way back whenever people still wore like the powdered wigs and shit like that, and all that good stuff going on. And they took all of the criminals in the world, like all the people, just all of them, and they put them in this giant prison, and it was fucking massive and fit everyone inside of it. And then they shrunk it down to the size of a pen tip. and they give it to this guy called the warden who had control over it, and they have these devices or these portals that can go inside of the prison anytime. The prison was built with the most sophisticated AI to ever exist, and it become alive and gain sentience. So the prison has the ability to I guess basically like inside the prison is like the equivalent of like visiting different countries and stuff like that based on where you're at in the prison because of how big it is. There's like all different kinds of like areas, and then there's like parts of the prison that's I guess uninhabited because I guess just for whatever reason it just is because it's just too hospitable to live in, you know. And like it follows these different groups of people that live inside the prison that are trying to like get out, and they visit different parts of it and stuff like that. There's actually a second book called Safit that talks about a guy who did get out of the prison, and the series is amazing. Like the writer did such a good job on it.
Very nice, very nice. I don't read enough books.
You said you don't read a lot of. You said you don't read a lot of SF. What about fantasy? Do you read any fantasy?
I would consider them one and the same. I don't read many books in general, and I've been trying to expand, but I have multiple books ready to read, but I haven't done them. So, the last book I read was biography-esque book by a wrestler whose career is over. I read that book, but that's the only book I've read this year. So I will definitely read more books, and then I'll have a better. I love the Harry Potter books. I love the Hunger Game books. Very original. Very never heard of before. A+. Yeah, I'm definitely need to read more books. That's definitely things on my to-do list. Like learn a different language. That's also on my to-do list to do, but hasn't happened yet. Well, it'll happen one day.
What's your language of choice?
I go back and forth. I feel like Spanish would be the most useful and it would make sense. But I'd also kind of like to learn Japanese. And honestly, I'd just like to learn a little bit of multiple languages.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of where I'd lean at the end. I just want to know a little bit of a lot of languages.
Yeah, I think I'm probably Japanese is my best second language. I'm probably at like a 6-year-old comprehension level. I know a little bit of Spanish and just a touch of German. And there's a handful of words in other languages I know, but I can't think of them off the top of my head. But Japanese turned out for me to be easier than Spanish or German.
Very interesting. That's definitely not something I hear often. But I feel like for some people, it's like learning like a Chinese or like a Japanese that doesn't follow anywhere. Like at least like a Spanish or like a Portuguese or something like that kind of goes off English. When it comes to, it's not something completely new. But at the same time, learning something completely new, I feel like that's kind of to your benefit when it comes to you won't associate it with things in English.
That's true. I think part of it part of it is how in those three languages they have different verb structures. I mean, I tried learning German first, and that's got the whole thing first, second, third person, singular, plural, and it's got like 4 different cases. You've accusative, dative, whatever. So that's super complicated verb structure. Spanish is similar. It doesn't have the cases, but you still have to make certain you conjugate the verbs the right way. Japanese is formal or informal. That's it.
Very nice. Very nice. So, Japanese may be the one I go with. I don't know. We'll see. I say it. I try like 4 times a year to start trying to learn a different language, and it drops off the same way. Like, oh, I'm going to do these exercises. That dies off in a day or 2 as well. So, I'm very... It's something that I say I'll do, and I start. I just don't commit to. So, we'll see. It is a life goal down the road. I'm only like 22. I say like 22, I am 22. So, I have plenty of time. Plenty of time. But, I think that is going to conclude this episode of BS Back in the Shed. I hope you've had a good time.
I have. I hope I was a good conversation partner.
And if you enjoyed Sollace on the podcast, you absolutely should go press this link if you've not seen her channel already and you should absolutely go check out a video and consider subscribing. I would absolutely recommend it to you guys. It'd be a good time. It's a good time. But yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. I had fun.
Yep,
It
I think it
was-
was
this
a
one
good
was a lot of fun.
episode. I think we had some good topics. Good ride. Once we end the stream, if you'll stick by for a couple more moments, I'd appreciate it. But yeah,
Sure thing.
that will wrap up episode 65 of BS Back in the Shed. Next week we have a new guest. Once again, thanks to Bill, actually a returning guest for the 4th time, Courtney, who, if you watched the beginning of this stream, I actually played Cuisine Royale with her for a couple hours. So she's going to be our guest on the podcast next week. I look forward to it. I've enjoyed her being on before. I think we'll have a good time. Yeah, that's it. Do we have any last words?
Well, I've had a great time. I'm thankful for Ash having pushed me into this.
Thank you, Ash.
Thanks, Ash.
Alrighty.